would be great. If you could take a moment. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we could do introductions, that would be great.
Christy Rischel, Assistant Clerk.
Leslie Hervey, Clerk to the Board.
Hamilton County Commission Vice President Alicia Reese.
Commissioner Denise Driehaus.
Jeff Aludo, County Administrator.
Patrick Dressing, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney.
Stephanie Summerall-Dumas, President of the Board. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the previous session.
Second.
Commissioner Summer-Dumas.
Yes,
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Driehaus.
Yes.
thank you. Do we have any public comments? No? Okay. We'll move forward with comments and motions from the commissioners. Vice President Reese.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to send condolences out. I presented a proclamation on behalf of the board at the services of Miss Eloise Allen, and she was definitely a major pillar in the community and had a leadership role with the first district, I believe, of the National Baptist Convention, and so definitely will be missed, and attended her wake visitation that was at New Prospect Baptist Church. Also met with the CEO of Metro, President and CEO Andy Aiello, and there's some exciting things happening and coming, and it was a great update that we received. Also, he explained a little bit more about our new Central Campus and where the bus stop is, and they're working, I believe, with Mr. Aludo and our team, because there is a stop in front now, but the walk might be an issue. So I know that we're trying to work that out. So I was happy to hear that we're working together on it. I want to remind people, Small Business Day is May 18th, and it'll start at 8:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. It'll be at the Sharonville Convention Center. It's absolutely free. We'll have more details coming soon about the deal room, the setup, and possibly some additional funding, hopefully, for small businesses. So we'll update you as we get the information. And then the 513 relief bus is in Mount Healthy on Wednesday, tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Health Connection, it's at the Health Connection at 1411 Compton Road, Cincinnati, Ohio. So, well, not Cincinnati, Ohio, Mount Healthy, Ohio. That's where they'll be on Wednesday. And then the bus will be in Forest Park at Winton Woods, PTA Community Literacy Event. And that is on March the 13th from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. So those are the announcements that I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Driehaus.
Thank you. Just have a couple of things. I attended the BMV office opening and ribbon cutting in Evendale with Pavan Parikh, our clerk of courts. They've opened a new location up there, and it will service people that live in that part of the county. So I was glad to represent the commission at the ribbon cutting. I also attended the Bricker-Graden Bridge Series. This is, commissioners will be interested, that there is a group of people that get together every month. They call themselves the Optimist Club. So only optimists are allowed in the room. They let me in anyway. But they asked me to talk about only good things related to the county. So you can go, and they've got people, providing information about different things. Only good things. And so I talked about all the good things at the county, which was a lot of fun, particularly the Commission on Women and Girls stuff, because they were interested in that. But it was really, it's good to start your day with a bunch of optimists. Anyway, it was a lot of fun, and I was glad to highlight a lot of really, and when you sit down and you really think about it, there are a lot of positive things going on in Hamilton County. So I was happy to convey some of those. And then last night, I went to the TLRC meeting just to listen in, say thank you to the members of the TLRC for volunteering their time with a very difficult task and trying to figure out how we move forward with the Children's Services Levy. And so I want to thank them for their service. There were a number of members there, of course, but also thank staff, Lisa Webb, John Nelson, Margie Weaver, Jeff Aludo, all there trying to unpack what we've got in front of us, trying to unpack the consultant's report and think through how we move forward in November with this levy. So it was a very interesting conversation. We have all received a lot of information about the Children's Services Levy, but there was even additional information provided at that meeting. So anyway, I was glad to attend. It's just a lot to contend with. And then also I've had some conversations also with Metro and SORTA, Commissioner Reese. We're operating on parallel tracks. I reached out to one of the board members, so I think we'll get something resolved. I'm just not sure what. So anyway, more to come on that to try to provide more access to our building up in Bond Hill. And then lastly, we've got a photo this afternoon. It looks so gloomy outside, but it is not supposed to rain. In fact, there is a moment of sunshine at 4 o'clock, which is when we're doing the photo. So I'm hopeful that that will all coincide. So the photo is for Women's History Month, which is March. We've invited women from all over the county that are elected officials. So this is ourselves, of course, countywide elected women, judges that represent Hamilton County, but also women who are trustees or village managers or small city mayors or whoever they are. It's a bipartisan effort to get all the women that are elected in Hamilton County together to promote women in these roles as elected officials and allow people to understand the progress that we've made here in Hamilton County. We have more women elected to our roles, whether they're out in the outlying areas or whether they're countywide, than any other place in the state. And it's something that we think should be celebrated. We have all participated in the past. I look forward to reading the proclamation with yourselves and the other individuals throughout the county. So that's at 4 o'clock on the courthouse steps, weather permitting, today. So we're looking forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you. I have to find, is this purple or not?
Ish, I would say.
Okay, I just have a few things. CCAO, Human Services Committee, sent us a great PowerPoint about what I talked to my colleagues about. Is it the reader card, the rate card that they're using for JFS, and how if we have errors 6% or higher, we will get dinged on it. We may have to pay for it. So that PowerPoint that I got last night was so good. I'm going to see if Rachel can either be virtual with us and review it, because it was so much information that we need to know about as it relates to our finances. So I attended another virtual state capital task force meeting, and our last one will be this Wednesday, and that will be the final selection of who gets the millions of dollars for infrastructure. We are narrowing it down. And also I had one picture I wanted to show, if Christy could show it. When I had the State of the County address and I made my report, I said I gave a plaque. And it's a little bit more than a plaque. This is the key to the county. We have never given a key to the county. This would be the first one to Thomas Haywood, of course, on March 3rd for his 51 years of dedicated service. And I wanted the people to see what we provided, and I'm sure next year we'll be providing another one to someone else that's worthy of that. But it's more than a plaque, it's just something that I wanted all our residents to see. And that will end my report. Next will be Jeff Aludo, County Administrator.
Thank you, Commissioners. So I have two by leaves here today. The first by leave is a resolution authorizing a donation and lease agreement with the Community Improvement Corporation of Greater Cincinnati. Commissioners, so this is prior to closing on the sale of 222 Central Parkway, which is the old Alms and Depke building. This allows that the county will be transferring that property to the CIC and leasing it back, but this will allow for the application of historic tax credits for that property, which will assist in as part of the planned renovation project. Local governments are not eligible applicants for those tax credits, So since we're waiting on the actual closing of the property, we wanted to make sure that we facilitated the ability for that end buyer to apply for those historic tax credits because it is part of the ultimate financial plan for the renovation of the building. So commissioners, with that, I recommend approval.
Thank you. Vice President Reese, any questions or comments?
No questions on this item.
No questions.
Okay. I make a motion to pass by leave one.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Adumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes.
Thank you. And we have by leave two. I can take that,
you.
Jeff. It's a resolution appointing one member to the Mental Health and Recovery Board, Mr. Todd Castellini. Of course, obviously, we had a vacancy, and we are trying to fill our vacancies, but I will open it up for any questions or comments. Vice President Reese.
Yeah, I want to thank Todd Castellini for agreeing to volunteer, but I also want to thank Chase Majowski because he had served well. I want to thank him for stepping up under the new rules, or certainly his role at UC Health. He had to step back, but he had been, I think, a good person to have as well. So I just want to thank both of them.
Thank you. Commissioner Dreehouse.
Thank you. I just want to also thank Todd Castellini for stepping into this role. We are very grateful for his willingness to serve in this capacity.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to adopt by leave two.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Adumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Commissioner
Yes.
Lewis, can I ask two questions? One, you had brought up the capital budget and that would go to the state. And I had asked Mr. Ludo last week when we got the information about the regional safety complex. I guess there was some things that were not anticipated, and of course the tariffs. And I know that we are trying to get something from the federal government, which I don't have as much confidence in, but maybe. But even with them, they had a lot of red tape that kind of held us back from the project moving forward. I had brought up we should be looking everywhere, even when we getting the money from the federal government, it doesn't cover the total estimated cost needed. So I didn't know, Mr. Ludo, if there's something or if it's too late. I didn't know, or Commissioner President, is it too late? Or can we put an asterisk in there? Should we put an ask? Because I would hate for the county to approve these capital things, and then later we find out that, man, we should have gotten something for that regional. And I know all three of us, that's a very important project to all three of us as well.
I believe the deadline for the applications was at the end of December. So it's a little too late for that, but we did put in for Hillcrest, and we also put in for the animal, but the animal center did not qualify for whatever reason. So we did put in for Hillcrest. Would you like to add anything?
Only to say that to echo exactly what you said, Commissioner, but also that we are continuing to explore other state opportunities as well, directly with various representatives at the state, based upon our meeting with the delegation a week or so ago. But that would be through a separate effort other than the process that Commission President Dumas outlined.
Okay.
Just given the deadline associated with that.
Because I was, I've been through that process, and at the state, the final decision is with the state legislators. They can override. So I just would like to get something. I know Representative Andrews had mentioned it. I'd like to put it on record to them that maybe from their perspective, they can override and they can include. And we found out obviously after December, but it's not too late for the state legislators to, because they have the ultimate weigh in. And she made that question to us, and I just would like for us to make sure we got an answer back to her that yes, this is since, like you said, the animal shelter didn't qualify, but we, this is something that I know we need help on a quick turnaround if possible. So just wanted to make sure that was articulated if possible.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I ask a question about that, just by way of impact? So the deficit that we have, particularly related to tariffs, does that impact phase one or phase two? Could you, because I want to make sure that, I know we're moving forward, and you've said that before, that nothing has been delayed, but where are the impacts when we have this kind of financial gap?
Yeah, I know, good question. So they would be technically spread across both phases. Phase one, I think, included the acquisition of some equipment for the range, which included some inflation and tariffs in those acquisitions. But I believe a majority of the cost impact will hit related to tariffs specifically in the second round of in the second phase. So. But
So I'm just getting at what the timing is, because the timing is important here. So what is the timing then of those impacts? It sounds like we maybe can absorb some of that, but maybe in phase two we can't because it's so much more.
yeah, I think the project is 31 million. It was initially penned at roughly 31 million. So we are still within that budget, but we know that with phase two and the escalated costs related to tariffs, inflation, and some of the site issues that we saw in phase one, we know that we're projecting to be over that by the time it's all said and done. So money that we receive now to help offset that will increase our resources, allowing us to stay within budget all the way through the project.
I was just going to suggest we need an updated timetable. I think that was just good questions that have been asked. What is the new timetable? Because I was hearing 4 million, now I hear 14 million over. Will we be able to open the doors? Will CPD be able to move out? Because that's what the people want to know. When will they going to get their stuff and get out of there? But I wouldn't want to come back and say, well, now they can't get out because, remember I told y'all about the tariffs and I told you about, so I kind of want to know, we had a timetable that you had given us based on the original financial projection. It will be helpful to get an updated version.
Yeah, and at this point in time, we're not anticipating a change to that timetable. We're going to continue to bid phase two, and we're going to work on the gap closing plan as we are doing that. With the expectation that at the end of the day, we will close that gap and there will be no change to the initial timetable.
Okay.
What's the end date on the timetable?
I think we were looking at the mid-year 2027, I believe.
Okay.
But I'll get you a more precise date than that, Commissioner.
Okay. Very good. Good question. So, yeah. We'll move to our regular agenda. Welcome. He's been looking ready to go. Our engineer.
Good morning.
Good morning.
3 items today. Item number 1 is a resolution setting the viewing and hearing dates for the vacation of Long Alley and Cider Alley located in Crosby Township. Both of those are township roads. The board received petition communication back in October. We would like to set the viewing date for April 1st and the hearing date for April 9th. The petitioners will prepare this a survey plat and submit to the engineer's office. We will evaluate that and prepare a report for you prior to the hearing date. Item number 2 is a resolution for East Miami River Road improvements from address 11030 to Dunlap Road in Colerain Township. We're anticipating a bid opening of April 9th. The engineer's estimate is $1,750,000. We have funding from OPWC for 50% of the project, and the remainder is out of the permissive auto fund at 50%, $875,000 each. I know last week there was a question about percentages on these OPWC projects. This was one that we felt was important, so we are putting in 50% match on this project. Item number 3 is a resolution appropriating property for the purpose of constructing the Fields-Erdel intersection improvements at McCauley and Conway Roads, located in Sycamore and Sims Township, as provided in the ORC section 16304. This will allow us to, if we cannot come to agreement with this parcel, property owner, allows it to go to court for appropriations.
Okay, thank you so much. On item 2, what's the timetable as far as completion of that project?
Completion is set for June of next year.
Okay. Sounds like a large project.
It is.
Vice President Reese?
I was just looking at 3, but I see what the numbers. That's $3,600.
$3,641 is what our appraised price was for the parcel.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't have any other comments.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
I have no questions. I just want to thank Eric, or the engineer, I guess, for his partnership. We were just talking about the safety complex, and the engineer had a bunch of property up there that he has allowed us to usurp for the use of the safety complex, and we're very, very grateful for that partnership.
Glad to help.
Just thought I wanted to take the opportunity since he's standing in front of us.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to adopt items 1 through 3.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move right along to our consent agenda items.
Thank you, Commissioners. Consent agenda begins at item number 4. The first item is a resolution authorizing the transfer of real property to the Hamilton County Land Reutilization Corporation. This is former property that was controlled by MSD under the name of the county, being transferred back to the land bank for ultimate transfer to Habitat for Humanity for a affordable housing project. Item number 5 is a budget adjustment. This is a total of $1.734 million. This includes some of the funding that the general fund is absorbing children with medical handicaps for that was formerly funded through JFS and the Children's Services Levy. Item number 6 is a resolution authorizing an agreement between the board on behalf of the sheriff and Great Oaks of Cincinnati for the Sheriff's Patrol Officer Training Academy at $578,240. Item number 7 is a resolution of a then and now with Corinthian Baptist for $1,250. Item number 8 is a resolution authorizing the purchase of a Dodge Durango as a replacement in the Clerk of Courts, $40,483. Item number 9 is a resolution authorizing a then and now with Dinsmore and Scholl for $55,077. This is for monthly billings shortly after the legal transition made in 2025. Item number 10 is a resolution accepting purchase orders for Hamilton County and executing their release at $169,000. This is for some communication equipment and for some additional surveying at the banks. Item number 11, property surveying, that is. Item number 11 is a resolution authorizing a renewal of the First Amendment to an agreement with between the board and Alloy Development for $175,000. This is for specifically for the Community Impact Program and for the Down Payment Match Program. Item number 12 is a resolution updating a memorandum of understanding with Eastern Kentucky University and the board. This relates to the employees' participation in the EKU Advantage Program, which is a tuition discount program for county employees. Item number 13 is item number 13 starts a series of job and family services items. The first is item 13. This is bid awards and contracts entered into by the JFS director for December of 2025, $15,000. Item number 14 is a resolution authorizing an agreement between the county and Block Ministries for group home services at $130,000. Item number 15 is a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement between the county on behalf of JFS and the sheriff. This is for serving 4D child support warrants and related child support notices. The total amount of those JFS items totals $1.3 million. And finally, Commissioners, we have item 16, which is the request for authorization to travel at the county's expense. This is the coroner, 2 employees to Cincinnati, Ohio, and the treasurer, 2 employees to Toledo, Ohio. And that is your consent agenda, Commissioners.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Any questions or comments, Vice President Reed?
Yes, thank you very much. Just wanted, I believe, item 7, I had asked about this. That those dollars are for, it says Corinthian Baptist Church. I believe that was space rental for Teens for Tot training. Was that Teens and Tot training event where they train teens and tots? So I'd asked for that to be clarified so we would know what that is. And then the other item, alloy number 11, this is a reduction to our down payment, commercial down payment assistance to the 504. We reduced that program to now only 50,000, with the rest going to community impact. And I still have some questions about the community impact because we have community impact that we do as well, and I know that we put a lot of money and we do a great job on it. So I just wanted, to see what that community impact is. Is this facade? Is this helping small business in the area, districts? We can get that information later. I'll support it, but I do want to have more. During the Small Business Day, I'd like to see more of what we've done. As a board, we voted for these dollars, but there are a lot of people that have benefited and things are going good. And so I just want to make sure that that is included in when we do the Small Business Day on here's what we voted on, here's people who got actually helped. So I'd like to add that as well. And then the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, the training at Great Oaks. I think it's so important to have this type of programs. They need to come back where we're training a trade, a skill set at the high school levels, at the post-high school levels as well, where people can come out and actually participate in a career. So I do think this is very good at a time when we would be looking to fill a number of positions and so forth. So I just think this is good, and this helps us too with our patrol officer training academy being in partnership. So I wanted to highlight that as well. So those are the items that I think those are the only ones that I have highlighted, just making sure real quick. Yes, those are the ones that I wanted to make sure we highlighted.
Thank you. Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes, thank you. Jeff, on item number 5, the budget adjustment, did you say that the general fund is absorbing some of the cost of this care because it cannot be paid for through the Children's Services Levy?
Yeah, this is a specific program that is a state mandated program related to the county's obligation to cover what's called the Children with Medical Handicaps program, and it was one of the specific items that we had called out back in the budget deliberation. There were some specific costs that the county general fund would be absorbing. This was one of those.
Okay, so I wanted to highlight this because we had, the general fund has absorbed a number of items from the JFS levy because of the deficit there. And the conversation last night at the TLRC involves some, thinking through how the levies interface with one another, DD and Children's Services in particular, how the general fund then interfaces with that. And at a time when the Children's Services levy, it would be running in the red otherwise, the general fund now is supplementing a lot of that work. So this is a trend. It's concerning because we've got a very tight general fund budget. And so I just wanted to point that out as we think through the upcoming levy and for Children's Services. Think through how much the general fund is capable of absorbing as we move forward here and continue to face this kind of challenge. The other piece, I know this is really small, but on the travel, the coroner's office is sending 2 employees to Cincinnati, Ohio. I just was
I think the dollars there are for the registration.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Okay, so it's not travel, it's registration. All right, well, yeah, it did look a little odd. All right, thank you.
So maybe we should put travel expenses as the title, because of some, in the future, travel or something else, we need another word there. So it doesn't just say, because like you're right, you see travel and you say, traveling to Cincinnati. So maybe we should put
I
something,
know everything's going up. Who knows?
gas prices.
The Ubers, the gas, everything. Okay.
Yep.
Anything else? Okay. I just wanted to comment on the JFS items, and so if I calculate right, please don't check it out for yourself. But so far, we have $45.7 million that has been spent toward JFS services, and this is just the second week of March. So that's all I had.
Yeah, one more thing. I need to add this one thing. Item number, 15, that deals with warrants and has a number of things, $1 million. I just want to make clear, I've been getting calls, and I got stopped on the street the other day about a social media page called Hamilton County Mugshots. And somebody said, we're paying for that. I just want to be clear. They don't have to hear from me, but hear directly from Mr. Haludo, just because they think, say, Hamilton County. I know someone stole my page. I mean, there's a lot going on. I just want to make sure people, because they put out, you're paying for these things and putting people's mugshots out there, and you as the county, it says Hamilton County. So Mr. Ludo, can you address that? Because I know they'll see this $1 million on here and then come back and say, I saw it, you voted for it, and we are not involved in that.
Commissioner, we looked at a website yesterday in your office. I believe I'm not familiar with that website at all. There is publicly available data out there that people unfortunately can mine and use as they desire, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a Hamilton County sponsored site. So yeah, unfortunately that confusion can happen frequently.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to adopt items 4 through 16.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Commissioner Reese. Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Thank you. We have an executive session. Executive session pursuant to RC Section 121.22 G3 to conduct a conference with an attorney for the public body concerning the subject of pending litigation. I make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Thank you.